What's going on, everybody? Jeremy with Detroit Tech. The Sennheiser HD650 and the HD6XX from Drop/Mass Drop are one of the most popular audiophile headphones right now. And honestly, for good reason. The 6XX are extremely reasonable in price, especially when you start looking at the high-end headphone market, and they sound great with pretty much any music you want to throw at them. And with the right tools, they're great for gaming as well. Corey even uses them in conjunction with his X7 from Creative. But what if you don't want to, or can't for that matter, spend $200 on headphones, another $300 on your DAC and amp, not to mention finding a mic for $100 or something like a Blue Yeti. I think that's more expensive, but it doesn't matter. And I'm guessing you want some good sounding headphones too, nothing like crap. Well, Sennheiser and Mass Drop/Drop think they've got you covered. These are the Sennheiser PC37X. Now, we did purchase these ourselves, and of course, all opinions are our own. And if you think these would be a good buy for you, we'll have links right below the like button if you'd like to help support the channel. Now, my first thought when looking at these was, thank God they don't look like other Sennheiser gaming headsets. Because honestly, those, sorry Sennheiser, they just look stupid. The PC37X are really what I'd call low-key. Matte black with ear cups that are a little bit reminiscent of the 599 or 559 by Sennheiser. The badging is subtle enough not to be obnoxious as well, which is always a plus. The build is all plastic. They don't feel flimsy, but it's definitely all plastic. The padding on the headband is nice and thick, help the headset sit comfortably on my head for long gaming sessions. The ear cups, while they're not terribly large, do not make contact with the outside of my ear and are deep enough so I don't hit this other part of my ear on the grill on the inside. They're cloth, kind of terry cloth-ish type pads, and they do get a bit warm, though these are open back cans overall, so they breathe better than a lot of other headsets. And while they are light enough to not weigh heavily on top of your head, they do tend to squeeze my head a little bit right here. It keeps them securely on my head, but it can feel a little squeezy. I do have a pretty big head though, so I kind of take that with a grain of salt. Plus, I'm sure they'll loosen up after long-term use anyway. The cable attaches to the left ear cup only and is removable, though it's extremely recessed. So if you're gonna have to replace it, you need to make sure you buy a cable specifically for this headset. It terminates with a split cable for the mic and the sound, and there is no adapter in the box. So if you have one of those combination jacks in your laptop with where you need the 4-pole, you need to spend a couple dollars on one of those as well. The cable's braided and it's super long, so you won't really have an issue. Even if you have to go to the back of your PC and it's on the floor and a couple feet away, no issues there. There's no volume control on the cable, as they decided to actually just place it on the right ear cup. The volume control works well, especially when you pair it with your software controlled output in Windows or Mac. Okay, nobody's gaming on Mac, never mind. The dial is smooth and I didn't catch any grittiness or static while adjusting the volume. My only real complaint is that with the volume dial all the way down, there's still actually a lot of sound coming out. I could hear things, at least if there wasn't a lot of background noise, perfectly fine. I'm not sure if they did that on purpose, so you could never accidentally turn your sound off like I do with my SteelSeries Arctis 7, or why they did it. It's just, I don't know. It's not bad, it's not good. It's just kind of weird not to be able to actually mute things. When listening to music, these sound actually about as you'd expect. They sound kind of like open-backed Sennheiser cans. They'll work with pretty much every genre of music. The low end is pretty good, if a little bit boosted for my taste. Bass heads will probably still want a little bit more though. When you step up to the low mids, when there isn't a lot happening in the song, everything is nice and defined. Now, when you start to smash a lot of information in there, for example, Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria, it does start to get a little bit muddy, but not criminally so. The mids are where this headset really just kind of tends to shine. It's very present, intimate vocals, reverb on, something like Diana Krall is detailed, very, dare I say, Sennheiser-y. The high end does lose a little bit something in these though. It's defined enough, but there's not that little bit of extra sparkle that makes things pop, makes you sit up and take notice. For example, snare drum in Pretender by the Foo Fighters. When that comes in about 30 seconds or so into the song, some headsets or headphones, you sit up, you're oh yeah, this is getting really, really good. These just kind of go, oh, the song is picking up now. Neat. Not really the reaction you'd want as a songwriter. Stereo separation for these is good, if not exactly pinpoint, and instrument separation is, again, fine. It's nothing to write home about, and definitely not up to the HiFiMan HE4XX that I personally use for music on a daily basis. I mean, they don't sound bad. I'd like to say they sound like a decent pair of, $100 to $140 headphones. Not amazing or not great, but not bad for sure. But these aren't really like meant for just music. They're not headphones. It's a gaming headset. So how do they do while gaming? Honestly, pretty freaking amazing. The present mids really like lend to hearing footsteps really, really well. And I didn't have any issues figuring out where enemies were coming from. The subdued high end tamed any little sharp rifle cracks or other like stringent sounds. The low end got to me a little bit, honestly, in the Dusty Old Houseboat playlist or Dust-Filled Rowboat, whatever it's called in Modern Warfare, where everyone and their mom is like throwing grenades and C4 or spamming the RPG like they'll never get to use it again. It was just a bit much. The open back nature of the headphones really made things sound nice and open and not unnaturally close, which was probably one of the reasons a little bit easier to locate enemies. I'm a big fan of open back headphones just kind of in general. I don't sound muffled to myself like this, and it keeps me from just talking really loud for basically no reason, which I guess could be a decent segue into the microphone. Honestly, it's pretty amazing. It's probably the best headset mic I've ever really heard. It doesn't give you a radio voice, anything like that. Our buddy Tom even said it sounded just kind of a bit flat, but it's perfectly intelligible. The high end isn't super sharp. Sibilance doesn't get away from you. You could almost say it's a just kind of bland mic, but that's, for me at least, kind of what I really like about it. Too many gaming headsets try to do something like super special with the mic, and they make it sound super over-processed. This rejects noise really, really well. I was testing the mic with a YouTube video playing in the background out of speakers, didn't pick that up, let alone the air conditioner that I had going in the back. Sennheiser honestly just did a great job here of putting a good mic in their headset. The boom has a little flexible part in the middle right here, so you can get the mic really right where you need it. And when you flip it up, there's a very satisfying click and the mic is muted. Nice, right? Overall, I can really see why people say they love this headset. I see why it's, for example, Dimitri over at Hardware Canucks' favorite gaming headset. It's comfortable, sound is precise in games and lends itself to most music genres when you're not gaming. And the mic is great. Probably the best mic in any gaming headset, I would venture to say. And to make the PC37X even better in my book, there's no software to deal with. Though that may be a negative for other people, I don't really know. This is just what you get. Plug and play at its finest. If you want to EQ, like the audio you get, you will need a separate software in your computer for that. But honestly, I don't think you'll need it. These are pretty freaking great. Thanks for watching, everybody. If this video is helpful, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Let us know in the comments below what you think the best headset gaming mic is, and we'll catch you in the next one.
And it goes like